And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chilling, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the...
Alright, so we have the tablet style right here. So we're just gonna remove this puppy right here. Make sure you unplug it. You have it unplugged. And then let's put this face up. For the Subaru BRZ, in most cars, they're held by trim pieces. This one's actually really easy to get to. You just pull straight out, and yeah, that comes out. And this should expose some screws, like 4 of them. Now this could be 10 mils, or it could be Phillips. You just want to pull the sucker out and unplug everything in the back. I like to use a microfiber towel to kind of just protect the interior, because it is, these brackets are actually very sharp. Yeah, so I'm gonna unplug all of this, and yeah, we'll continue from here. All right, once you have this assembled, the hardest thing is it did come with a plug and play harness that we saw earlier, this puppy right here. But notice how I have some black tape right here. Let me go over that. Reverse cameras isn't exactly easy to install. You notice how we have like 2 wires hanging out. It's because I just took out the original install. But let me get you let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so follow through, because the reverse camera is a little bit tricky. Now the reverse camera is going to be on the 28 pin, and you're going to be able to get these wires from the 28 pin. I'm going to put a wiring diagram below, because it does depend on your car, which goes where. Then you also want to get the reverse signal wire too. So the way the reverse camera works on a cars is the car will, when your car is in reverse, like this, it'll shoot a signal to this wire, then it'll tell the head unit, hey, the car is in reverse, and then it'll automatically boot up that reverse screen. Now to get reverse screen to be working, to have videos, you just have one RCA jack for that. And other than that, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now let's install the plug and play harness for the Toyotas. So it should be like Lego pieces right here. And then we have the antenna, and we have, this is the steering wheel controls that we do not have on this car. And even if this plug did not fit, you would have to splice these 3 wires. Just kind of, that's how it is universally. Bam. Now with these 2 plugs alone, it should be able to power the unit, the power harness. So what I would like to do is I would like to test the unit before we have everything buttoned down. Yes, the reverse camera is not set up yet, all that jazz. And you can kind of get just like a dry fitment of how it's gonna look. So plug in that back harness right there, and we're just gonna put that bad boy in a rough spot. You still need to transfer the mounting spots. Put this in neutral. So hopefully this thing won't fire up. Yes, it does. So this is a big step. I know there's some glare, so I'm gonna see if I can cover a little bit. I'm still gonna leave the screen protector on there just for now. Let's see. Now the first things I like to check is audio. Depending on your Toyota or just any head unit in general, some cars come with not aftermarket, but built-in amps. This car, for example, does have a built-in amp, and you want to just see the volumes. So we do hear sound. Now the the built-in OEM amp needs to get powered, so you gotta make sure that if your car does not have sound, make sure your OEM amp has the remote on wire on. So I'm gonna hook up this little Bluetooth real quick, so you're gonna see some glare. We can try out other things too, like Android Auto and all that, but let's try Bluetooth, because Honestly, Bluetooth is a huge staple. If you don't have Bluetooth, you're pretty much doomed. I'm gonna turn the brightness on a little bit, see if it can come back some of that glare. So we're gonna to go to Bluetooth. You wanna, it's A2DP for the audio player, but for Bluetooth setup, let's see if I can hit this widget. Please connect your phone to iDoing. Let's see. So I'm gonna see if I can just pair a new device with my phone. It says iDoing. I'm gonna click on iDoing. What's the pin? The pin's right there. Very secured. 0000. Nice, and it automatically goes to this little thing right here. So I'm gonna just play a song and see if audio comes through. Nice. So I do have audio. Make sure all your speakers are working, making all the wires like it's correct.
Working on a weekend like usual.
Right, so we know that the head unit does work. That's great. We checked out the audio. We messed with the fader. You know, you can go use this equalizer, move it left and up, down, right, IBA. That's cool. It actually sounds really good because it does have a built-in DSP. And let's just check out our settings a little bit. Make sure everything's gooch. Make sure everything is everything you want it to be. Now this is a PX5, so it's and the resolution is 1024 by 600. Android 9. All this good information. Octa-core, 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm gonna change the time real quick. Here we live in the United States. It's actually very important to set your time clock, so don't snooze on that. Oh. Now the touchscreen does feel kind of weird because I have the screen protector on, but once I take that off, it's gonna be good. We live in the LA. Yeah, so then we got this nice interface. It's super smooth, feels really good. Very good. Now you do have that autoplay. That's the little thing that I have right here. So I'm gonna have Android Auto. Right, so I do have some construction in the background, so if you hear that, I'm sorry. But we want to remove the OEM brackets. Now, the holes might not always line up, especially because now we're doing basically a double DIN kind of mounting system into a single DIN. So you're just gonna have to try your best judgment to see how that fits. And I'll let you guys know how it fits if you guys have a car similar to this, and how I will tackle such trivial things. Working on the week, usual. All right. So that's the old head unit. And we're going to be transferring the new nuts. But it is a single DIN, so we're going to have to get creative. So, like this. Usually there's like a little, like, you see how there's like a little nipple right here? You can use it to, there's a little nipple right here. Put a little hole right there. And you see how it just kind of lines up with these holes? That's a good base indication of like where you should mount it. So I'm gonna mount it right there. Something about this just really relaxing. All right, so we're just gonna test fit it over here. All right, so plug in the thing. Nice and clipped in. Gently pull it back. You see how there's so many wires back there? That's just the nature of the game. I'm just mount it real quick. You can just do 1 or 2 screws. Just do 1 for this case. Oh, make sure you don't drop anything. You drop a screw, oh, you'd be looking, trying to fish that out in there. It's a mess. Alright, it's pretty mad, pretty good. Yeah, so like this Toyota trim just eventually starts to sag over time. So that's kind of like the fitment. It's pretty good. I do want it to come out a little bit more. So let's see if we can make it, you see how it's kind of in there? See if we can do anything to make it stick out a little bit more, but I doubt it, so. I wonder if when I mount this, if it sticks out more. You could put washers too right here, which I don't have currently, but I could get washers to make it stick out a little bit right there. Because the ideal fitment that I would want is have it pretty much, man, this thing's really on my nerves. Probably on your guys' nerves too if you guys are watching this. Come on, Toyota. Get some better glue. So ideally, I would want it to look like something like this. Which is actually kind of close to what it was, honestly. It's kind of just in there generally. This is me like pushing on it as maximum as possible. So I guess I'm gonna just leave it like that. Comes to wiring, if you guys remember, we need to have the backup camera. So I have this thing called cam something. Now, these little like sockets make it so it only fits one way. And we're gonna front camera, rear camera in. So we're gonna do the rear camera in, which was this. And then a reverse. Remember I was talking about how you need to tell the system, hey, I'm in reverse. So you wanna wire this to, I have that one ugly green wire. So what mine does is this green wire is basically the reverse wire. So the only problem is this thing's really short. Unfortunately, they give you a really short reverse wire. You don't get too much clearance. Yeah, you can heat wrap it and all that goodness, but you know me, man. Twisting and then tying is how I do things here. Twisting and then electric tape. The reason why I do that is, you see me, I go through all these installs, and imagine if I solder and heat shrink it. Just too much, it's too time consuming. Because I go through head units to make reviews, like, a lot. Let's see if I have some electric tape. Alright, so once you have the video in, you have the reverse signal in, and then yeah, you should be good. Also, you do need the camera to get powered too, so just something to keep in mind. I'm gonna throw this car in reverse, but so you do have a reverse, and it looks pretty good. So this car uses its own OEM camera. This is a 2016 BRZ, so it came with a reverse camera, and you'll be able to make it so you can use existing OEM hardware, or you can add a new camera. If you saw those plugs earlier, you can add a front cam, you got a reverse camera, and all that jazz. But we're just doing the reverse camera because it's easy, it's simple, and that's all I need to do. So yeah, it's looking good. I like it. Just wrap everything up, plug everything in, and we should be set. Should auto power off. Remember, be careful with this sharp. Now the only few things we need to plug in left is the reverse camera we just did. There's the microphone, which is right here, which I'm not going to install, but you can plug it in right there. There is also the, where is it? There's also the antenna, which I am going to install. So this is how the antenna piece looks like right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. And that uses your OEM little socket right there. And you want to plug it into right here. So it came with this cable too, so I'm going to plug this in. And this has the other end to get power. And so let's plug this bad boy in. I can find the connection. Amp con antenna. Well, we definitely need to get this antenna powered. There you go. Alright, so I have a Samsung S10 plugged in, and as you can see, I do have Android Auto up. It's the latest one. You got the Spotify and all that goodness. Very cool. And it's just like, yeah, very cool. So I'm gonna have this all hooked up, and we'll see how it goes and proceed from there. Alright, so we have the GPS, which is the last thing we need to hook up. We had Kimberly over here. She actually helped fish the wire over there, so that was nice. Alright, so we fished the USB cables to be in the glove box so we can have that look a little bit cleaner. The last thing we need to hook up is the GPS, which is pretty easy. You just kind of plop it in there and it clips in. I usually just have it right there. Picks up the GPS signal good enough. And also, to be honest, the navigation is just kind of like for emergencies. I like to use Android Auto or Apple Carplay for everything else. So let's just see what that is. So we have the head unit in, and let's fire it up. Now, of course, we're going to clean that up a little bit. Zoom. Cool. Well, that kind of concludes the install. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys were thinking of buying this, links down in the description below. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.